The Big Ten is saved. The Michigan Wolverines are your Big Ten tournament champions. The Michigan State Spartans are your regular season Big Ten champions, or just Big Ten champions, as I think many people have pointed out. You're just the Big Ten champs, not regular season. We shared this. We both got to call ourselves champions. We both got a banner out of this. We manifested this from nothing in the middle of December before we even knew our two teams were good. This is the finest achievement that I think you and I have ever collectively had, Cart.
Yeah, they laughed at us. Gee, they said that's stupid. They said there's no way that could happen. Even as of last week, a couple of days ago, they said there's no way it could happen. And I posed the question, what if we lose? What if you don't meet us in the title game? And you looked at me and you said, I love my chances in the title game. You guys are not there. And I removed myself. I did what I had to do. I got Tonje'd. Tonje used all his energy up on us because he wasn't ready to look Will Cheddar in the eyes. He wasn't ready to look Danny Wolf in the eyes. And y'all got yourselves a banner. The Big Ten has been officially saved. You can't deny it. You can't run from it. The banners of the Big Ten this year belong in the place where when they ask you where you live, they hold up a goddamn hand in the form of a mitten.
So I could do the thing that like at Spartan Dog 707 Wolf Wolf Jr. does, and say that Wisconsin shooting 17% from three in this game was great defense. It was such great defense. Michigan was everywhere.
Well, you can
Uh,
do it. You can do it if you want.
I'm not going to.
Oh,
Here's the reality. Michigan fans, you can admit this with me. I promise it's okay. We can put our big boy pants on. It's going to be okay. Uh, Michigan was incredibly fortunate in this run, and that's okay. And I will not apologize for that. They've been fortunate all season long in a lot of ways. They've also stepped up in the big moment and made the plays necessary whenever opportunities have provided themselves. That's what they did again in this game. Trey Donaldson again with multiple clutch moments. This was his tournament, in my opinion. This was a resurgence from him that was completely unexpected. A week ago, everyone from the Michigan side was even questioning if he would be back next year. And he just stepped up in the brightest of lights, in the biggest of moments, and delivered time and time again this week. It's not something that's been there all season, but it is something that's been there every time Michigan's been at their best this year. He's done this throughout the year at times, and when he's done it, they've been damn good. And it happened again. I thought they won ugly, which obviously you needed to do. Michigan shot it absolutely horribly from 2 point range. I thought Michigan really struggled. Give credit to Wisconsin for how they guarded Vlad. But
both
also,
teams struggle from both all areas.
yeah, it was one of the ugliest games of the year. One of the ugliest games of the year for sure. But yeah, I don't know. A couple sequences from Michigan that I definitely want to talk about. The reality broadly though is this, though, like I said, fortunate for Michigan. Not just fortunate that Wisconsin missed shots in this game. Fortunate that this draw broke perfectly for Michigan. They got Purdue in the get right game against a Purdue team that looked like they didn't want to be there. Then you avoid Illinois. You were never beating Illinois. You avoid Illinois and get Maryland, who has less depth than you do. And then you get Wisconsin instead of Michigan State. Like, you were never beating Michigan State. I tweeted this and I meant it. If Michigan played the way they did today against Michigan State, they would have been down 37 with 10 minutes left with Trey Holloman incessantly chirping us. So, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. This is your championship as well, my friend. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this one. Just like I looked you in the eyes with 2 weeks left, remember? I looked you in the eyes and said, you know what, Card, I'll step aside. I
Mhm.
can tell you need one right now after Mike was, let me step aside. And I
Mhm.
did. And my team took that to heart. They stepped a little more aside than I wanted them to. And when I needed one from you, your team gave me a pat on the back and a boost to take down Jace Richardson's Big Ten Player of the Year pick in emphatic fashion.
That shit was dog. Tanji was so bad. Can we talk about that?
Let's talk about it. What did you see from Jace Richardson's Big Ten Player of the Year? Let me repeat. Jace Richardson loves John Tonje. It's his Big Ten Player of the Year pick. Go get it done, Johnny. Go. I'm a big fan, John. Can I get your autograph, John? This was so good, John. You were so good. You're my favorite player. Uh, what'd you see from John Tonje, Mr. 1 for 14 from the floor with Will Cheddar guarding him? What'd you see from him?
Yeah, well, I was unaware that Madison Sekou Doumbouya was going to show up to the Big Ten championship game, but it's good to see him miss that guy. But no, to steal something I heard during the game because I honestly, as I was watching it, I thought I saw it, but someone pointed it out too when the game was actually going on. Michigan's size and like switchability, I think, gave them a little bit of an advantage that Michigan State did not have when they were guarding John Tonje. Like honestly, like credit to Namari Burnett, credit to Reuben Jones, who you've been singing the praises all year. Um, Reuben Jones struggled in every other facet of the game. I think he's 1 for 7 for 3 in this game, but just the ability to like blow up screens, use the size to be physical with John Tonje, and also like just this, there he's seeing 7 footers when he goes to the hoop, and also like on the wing, he has guys who are like 6'4", 6'5", long arms that are like all up in him. It just seemed to bother him a lot. He was not able to get to his spots. He didn't get to the free throw line. The bigs on Michigan did a great job of walling up. It was a pretty impressive performance, and also just like as much as I'm giving Michigan credit, also John Tonje was just smoking shots too. He's a
Yeah.
tough shot. He's a tough shot maker. He did not make the tough shots today.
Yeah, look, fourth game in 4 days. I think that explains most of this from the Wisconsin side. I mean, this is their worst shooting performance of the year. They missed open threes as much as they missed contested shots from everywhere.
They took 40 of them.
But I will say this: there are two very different sides of what happened defensively for Michigan this game. There's side number one, which is what I'm saying. They got lucky. Wisconsin missed shots. That absolutely happened. And then there's side number two, which is I thought they really defended Tonje well. And this is not a coincidence to me because Tanji's previous worst game of the year came against Michigan when he went silent for the final 10 minutes when they switched Danny Wolf on him. So I talked about in the preview with Ralph, like I liked the matchup on Tonje. And I didn't expect that to manifest itself into Will Cheddar going one-on-one with him. Like the only bucket that Tonje scored in this game, he blew by Cheddar for a dunk. I don't know why he didn't do that more. He kept getting the Cheddar switch and settling for like tough fadeaways. And it's got to just be legs, but it's also the reality that Tonje, as good as he is, I do think he is dependent on the tough shot. He makes stuff tougher than it needs to be. And his game is so free throw dependent.
Mm-hmm.
And the way this game was being called, it's not anything that Michigan or Wisconsin necessarily asked for or forced, but they let a lot of contact go in this game. They made that very clear in the first 2 minutes. And I think that benefited Michigan in a pretty big way because Tonje just did not get a lot of calls that he normally gets. Great player. Horrible game. All-time horrible
Like
game.
all-time horrible stinker.
And I'm making jokes about it, but I really do want to just make this abundantly clear to everyone everywhere watching this. Jace Richardson was shaking ass when he should have been shaking hands in the handshake line. And the guy he was shaking ass for, his Big Ten Player of the Year, who didn't win Big Ten Player of the Year, by the way, Braden Smith would never have a stinker like this with a championship on the line, came out and gave you 1 for 14 from the floor in a title game loss with Will Cheddar guarding him. That is what happened.
Yeah.
Unbelievable sequence of events.
That's on Tonje.
It's crazy.
Leave Jace out of this.
You got to admit, it was a cool moment in the moment. Hilarious looking back on it.
Yeah, kiss my ass.
Also, like, what do you got against Braden, dog?
I mean, you want me to go through this?
Sure, I'd like to know the psychology behind it. Yeah.
It's a 6-foot white kid from Westfield, Indiana, with bedazzled shoes at the Big Ten tournament, and he lost.
I need some respect put on Braden's name. Is all I'm saying.
I'm Jace. I'm not me. I
know.
know.
I think a lot of
I know
people,
who my Big Ten Player of the Year is.
A lot of people besides Jace made the same mistake Jace did. I'm sorry. That's where I'm at. There's one Big Ten Player of the Year. It's not the guy that we were shaking ass for in the handshake line after a loss, by the way. Crazy. All right. Michigan. Offensively, this was not great for them either. We're talking about how Wisconsin missed a bunch of shots. Michigan did not play well. Danny Wolf.
Sorry, not to cut you off before you get into it. This game was ass.
Okay. Danny Wolf, 3 for 8, 0 for 4 from 3. I thought he was aggressive hunting the step back jumpers when needed, which was needed. There were times the Michigan offense just completely bogged down, and I liked that out of him, even though he didn't hit them. He continues to struggle finishing, which is something I've been complaining about to you for a month. He smoked a basically uncontested layup in this game and had another like take that should have been finished that he just didn't. He's just not comfortable scoring like that. He's a great player, but there are still some limitations here that I feel like will plague him if he really goes to the NBA right away. You can't smoke layups against Steven Crowell and convince me that's going to be a guy that thrives in the NBA.
Yeah, no, I think also there's moments. The one thing I was impressed with Danny is that there was a little bit more aggressiveness attack to the basket towards the end of that game. Also, some emotion out of Danny. Did you notice that? After
Yeah,
he did have that one spin layup, he had a good defensive stand before that. He was screaming and talking a little bit of shit.
it
I haven't
was.
seen that.
Yeah, you weren't on the recap that we did when Michigan beat Maryland or the preview for this. I did them with Ralph, but I want to reiterate something I said to him that I feel like I would like your stance on this. I think gets lost with this Michigan team with how limited everybody beside Danny and Vlad have been this year.
Hmm.
That most of these dudes, except for Roddy, are winners that came from teams that were winning, and guys like Namari, guys like Trey, guys like even Roddy have had game winning moments this year. Like Roddy Gale has 3 game winners. Namari Burnett hit the shot to beat Rutgers. Trey Donaldson has now multiple games this tournament that he played closer. And then Vlad and Danny have obviously won you like 10 games each. It's a team that as much as we talk about how they're not balanced, they're top heavy. They have 2 guys, that's it. When you get to that moment where you're tied with 3 minutes left, they got some dudes that are legitimately fearless. And I
Mm.
don't know where that fearlessness comes from, whether it's from before they got to Michigan or what they're doing at Michigan, but it's what they've played with all year. This team is never afraid of the moment when they look up and they're tied with a minute left. And I think that played true again tonight and was kind of how Danny manifested into some fire for the first time really all season.
Yeah, I feel like I've been saying it like just in passing the past couple like Michigan videos we done when you're like, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it? And I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna do it, but like at least Trey Donaldson to me has some gamer shit to him that I've seen before. Then that was pretty evident in this Big Ten tournament. Like
Yeah.
I think on the last couple ones, I was like, I mean, I know he laid eggs in those games, but like I've seen Trey Donaldson be a gamer before. I think back to that UCLA game he had, and he had, like you said, multiple moments in this tournament where he made a big shot or made a big play, and for him to take care of the ball the way he did and have 8 assists, I mean, he was integral to this Ken Palm MVP in this game, right? Yeah, he
Yeah.
was big time.
And now we step up. The draw is out by now. There's a world here where Michigan, again, you got to get through the best mid-major in the country just to get there. A lot of people like San Diego or Michigan. I've talked about how horrible the A&M draw is. If you somehow got to A&M, I have A&M beating Michigan in my bracket. But there's a world, Danny Wolf versus his former team in the round of 32. Danny Wolf versus a team he beat in the NCAA tournament last year. He beat Janai Broom head to head. And it's his point guard's ex team, Trey Donaldson.
Mhm.
There are some narrative matchups here that look, I think this Michigan team has come to a spot where they feel it that everybody else in the league is looking at them like these dudes aren't actually that good.
Mhm.
Somebody get them out of here.
Mhm.
Nobody did this week.
Yeah.
And now it's okay, San Diego's turn. Get them out of here.
But you
San
were
Diego.
telling us they were going to get out of here.
You're right.
Why didn't they get out of here? Because Trey Donaldson was just that much of a gamer?
Trey Donaldson fixed his game. That's the
Yeah.
reality. Trey Donaldson went from a
So
total liability to a
yeah,
great player this week.
and that's not even me being the dickhead here. What I'm trying to do is I feel like there's a reset now. If this is what it's going to be, because for weeks before this, you've been telling me I don't care if it's the school of the blind that matches up with Michigan in the first round. This team isn't winning a tournament game.
And San
This
Diego's not
ver
the school of blind. They're good.
thi-
Yeah.
yeah, they're not. But I'm saying this version of Michigan that you saw in the Big Ten tournament. What's the expectations?
Well, the offense was bad in this game, so that's hard to say. A team better than Wisconsin would have punished them for that. Um,
Wisconsin was missing a lot of like I said, it's both. I feel like you do a great job of it. We do a great. That's one of the sleepers pillars. We can give both credit. Wisconsin missed shots, but also like I said, Michigan was very good with what they did on the dribble handoffs and like the pick and roll things on the wing, which
and we
they
didn't
blew
even
the
say
up
that. It,
versus.
it was it was that, but it was also the fact that just respectfully, even on a night where Michigan's front court was bad, Wisconsin's bigs can't fuck with Michigan's. I'm sorry. Like, no, I'm sorry. Steven Crowell and Nolan Winter are ghosts against this Michigan team. It
Yeah,
was true in the first game. It was true in this game. They are
your
not
seven
good.
your 7 footers are great 7 footers until some real 7 footers come through the door.
Those dudes are not good enough. And Guard realized that in the moment and went small, and that's part of why Tonje struggled again. Like it is what it is. But no, I listen. I totally hear what you're saying. I like to think that all year I have, and I will continue to strive to be honest in the way I cover Michigan. I think everything that I have said at any point this season, I have believed. Um, a week ago, I did not think this Michigan team would ever win a game again because Trey Donaldson was broken and Roddy Gale and Reuben Jones looked miserable. And then something changed. I don't know if Purdue was just a get right game or what, but this week that all changed. Donaldson came in aggressive and happy and hunting and was fantastic. And not even like the regular season Donaldson who would like do that for a half, right? Because so many games in the regular season he would no show the first half, be great in the second, or vice
Mhm.
versa. Car, I got 120 awesome minutes from Trey Donaldson this week. If you
Yeah.
get that, this Michigan team's good.
Mhm.
And Gale and Jones looked like they had life again, largely because I think it was easy for them to play off Donaldson. So, look, it can go away any second. I already learned that lesson. I'm still not confident. And San Diego's really, really good. But I don't think it was like a reverse jinx or a lie from me. I was just wrong. And if anyone wants to sit here and say they saw this Michigan run coming, nobody saw this run coming. It was a truly unexpected, spectacular week. So
That's fun though about it though. Taking a step back, the funnest Big Ten tournament runs, even putting aside like the fact that it was Michigan, uh, the fun ones are the ones that come out of nowhere.
right. Yep. No, I mean this maybe I'm getting out ahead of this. I don't know. This season's a massive success, no matter what happens next. Like they could lose to San Diego Cart. Season was a massive success.
Hmm.
You hung a banner in Dusty's first year, finished tie for second in an 18 team league, coming off where you came from with 8 wins a year ago.
Hmm.
I mean, this is beyond my wildest dreams. Do I wish we split with Michigan State? Of course. Do I wish this keeps going in March? Of course. But you hang a banner in year one, that's wildly ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I don't know. The draw is nightmare drawy. I'm not running from that. Again, in my bracket, I have A&M beating Michigan. But as a fan, now that it's gravy, now that I got this behind me, line them up, dog. Give me all the teams that you think are nightmare matchups for me. Do it.
Good.
Cause it's the same. Ain't this the same shit I've been saying for 2 months? Hey, Illinois, you're more talented than us. Do it. They did do it. That was scary. But why didn't y'all do it against everybody else? Why can't you beat Maryland? It's not that hard to beat Maryland. Hey, Purdue, roll ball, check ball. What up? Hey, you just switched it, right? TKR, you just switched it. Ain't that what we did to Tonje to hang a banner? We just switched it. Like, there's a whole lot of teams that still think they're better than Michigan that had no shit for Michigan over a 20 game sample size. Because do it to other teams too. Couldn't do it. This team was consistent and found ways to win. And now they're lining up. I'm completely honest. Hook me up to the lie detector test. I like that they gave us a shitty draw.
Mm.
I like it because it's all upside. Everybody has us losing to San Diego. What
Mm.
happens when we beat the team whose center's 6'8"?
Mm.
Then what? Then you're giving me the team that's the best rebounding team for the last 3 years? We got nothing for that, do we, Cart?
No, you don't.
We got nothing for that one, do we, Cart?
No, you don't.
We got nothing. And then you gave us the number one overall seed, right, Cart?
Yeah.
Got nothing for that one. I've never
Yeah.
seen Danny Wolf against Janai Broom.
Yeah, you got nothing for
We
that.
got nothing for that. And then in the Elite Eight, we actually have nothing for y'all.
Okay. You had me there, but I want to make it very, very clear. Danny Wolf did win that game. He also had nothing for Janai Broom in that game.
Yeah, but ghosts.
Ghosts are. I accept that angle. That angle's okay. Honestly, the Trey Donaldson angle is better than that.
Yeah, you're right. Last thing, can we talk about the most important sequence in this whole game?
Which one was that?
Did you watch the full game?
Yeah,
So there was one specific moment in this game where Michigan was on the verge of being blown out.
it was like I think it was like what that when they took like that 11-point lead, like in the middle of second half.
38 to 27
Oh, I
Wisconsin.
know what you're gonna talk about, the LJ Cason minutes.
38 to 27 Wisconsin, 13 minutes left. Roddy Gale's in the locker room. He's rolling his knee, which honestly may have helped Michigan. I don't know. But like Roddy played good this week. I don't want to pile on him. You lose Roddy, this team's already no depth. What are you going to do? Reuben Jones was 0 for 6 from 3 at that point, I think. He finished 1 for 7. Like that just nothing's going. Everybody's clanging shots. Wisconsin's finally finding some mojo. John Blackwell had just killed you like 3 straight possessions. You're down 11. In my pit of my stomach, I'm like, this is over.
Mm,
And the little freshman that could, the
mm.
little logo stander himself, LJ Cason comes off the bench. He has not been good this season at all. Hasn't been. I've been wrong about him. I thought he'd be an impact player from day one. Came off the bench and hit 2 humongous threes. 2 humongous threes when the rest of the offense could do nothing. And then shortly after that, got to the free throw line and made both. He gave them 8 points. He played 15 minutes total, but his 8 points came in like a 5 minute stretch of this basketball game where Michigan just needed to stay within striking distance. And
Hmm.
when LJ Cason checked back out of the game and Roddy was good enough to come back in late, they were only down 5 instead of being down 11. It was the most critical stretch of the season with the most on the line, and a dude who just has not been trustworthy whatsoever delivered. And it's why I'll never give up on Cason. Like,
Yeah.
I just believe in the kid.
Yeah. Honestly, I did the thought. I mean, I know it came through your head. Um, I just always thought like, given what the guards are on this team, LJ Cason should have been playing more.
He never should have been behind Pippen. That's my big gripe because they spent a month and a half giving Cason's like 8 minutes a game to Pippen.
Uh,
Pippen's not gonna be a dude. Cason will be a dude.
like Cason should always have been like at least a 10-minute guy all season, right?
Yeah, I don't think he ever should have gotten a DMP this year. But at the
Yeah,
same time, I watched Cason had a lot of bad moments this year.
he did. He did, but like that's part of the experience though,
You got to work through it.
You
I
gotta
agree.
work you gotta work through that. Know that Cason's part of the future. Let him get some. But like that I mean he was massive. Like rebounds, I remember he had an assist in there that was big as a part of that run. And I want to say that all had did that happen too while Donaldson was on the bench with foul trouble? Like he
Yeah,
got like a little 5 minute stretch where Donaldson wasn't on the floor with him.
he
And it
was
was
running
literally
point. He
Case
was literally running the team down 11.
he was
Yeah.
running the show.
And they cut into the lead, which is a
Yeah.
massive testament to him. He had a good tournament in general. The game against Maryland, he was bad, but he was really good the first game. He's really good this game. Look, it's not going to change this team this year, but I strongly believe, if I could bet a future, I strongly believe that Kaysen will be a starter next season. I think that's the plan. He is such a John L. Davis archetype guy. And he didn't shoot it well this year, but I know you weren't at the game. You saw highlights of it. I can't get that exhibition out of my head, man. He
Was it
made
the Youngstown State
everything.
game?
What'd you say? I
Was it Youngstown he had that game or Western Kentucky?
think it was Oakland.
Was it Oakland?
He had that exhibition I was at against Oakland and then a real game. And
Yeah, it was Oakland because it was that little season. You texted me, said you were in a suite, weren't you?
I was in a suite. He
Yeah.
hit he at halftime of his first game, he was 5 for 6 from three, like from the logo. Like
Yeah.
I thought he was Jace Richardson. That's what I thought I had. And obviously I'm wrong, but look, this was just massive. For the first time all season, Michigan does not win this game without what Cason did. And
Mm.
I don't think it's a minor thing whatsoever. I think it's huge for where he's headed.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, any final thoughts?
No, congrats, man. Congrats on the banner. For real. Like first year of Dusty, you went through some shit this year. Thought you were at the mountaintop. Had a little like rough spell there after that win at Chrysler over Purdue. Thought like you were feeling, then you got Dawson Garcia. Then you had the thing with us losing twice. You had losing to getting blown out by Illinois, losing to Maryland. Um, I think you and I can be on the same page where it's about at the end, like you end the season with a banner, and in your first season with Dusty May in a bigger conference, get you a banner and get you second place in the Big Ten. Like Michigan fans should be ecstatic with that.
You know, this is the power of friendship, my friend.
Like,
This
never
is
doubt it.
when you and I come together to do something special. We can go from our basements to the red couch. We can go from the basement of the Big Ten to a banner in a
Mhm.
3 month span. That's what we've done.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? Because now the Big Ten is saved. What is next year's energy?
Yeah, well, next year's energy is we're direct. We're not going to dance around anymore. Like we don't have banners. So, can I just get a minute to end this?
Please.
Okay. Just let me go ahead, and I want to make sure I don't, you know, gloss over anything. Um, Illinois, come outside. Indiana, outside. Iowa, outside. Maryland, outside. Minnesota, outside. Nebraska, outside. Wildcats, outside. Buckeyes, outside. Ducks, outside. Nittany Lions, outside. Boilermakers, way outside. Scarlet Knights, outside. Bruins, outside. Trojans, outside. Huskies, outside. Badgers, outside. You can catch us here with our banners anytime you need it.
You got to get your own banner. Do you want me to make you one?
Nah, I'm good.
You're not going to hang a fake banner.
I am gonna hang one right side up too, by the way. Shout out to Terrence Shannon.
Thanks for following along all season. We got a lot of March Madness content in store for you folks. We appreciate it. And one last time, save the Big Ten.